Welcome to Celebrity Grave Hunting. Today's tip, avoid service holidays. Welcome to Celebrity Grave Hunting. I am your host, Ryan. I am so excited that you decided to come along with me today for another adventure. The weather is beautiful. Let's go on a hunt. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we are on our way to Hillside Cemetery in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Scotch Plains, New Jersey is about 30 miles or so west of New York City. Who are we going to be visiting today? Today we are going to be visiting Dudley Moore. Now, who is Dudley Moore? That is kind of a tricky question. That depends on what side of the Atlantic Ocean you live on. Well, he is a British comedian, actor, and musician and piano composer. Born Dudley Stuart John Moore, April 19th, 1935 in London, England. With clubbed feet and short stature, as a child he found himself the butt of many jokes. At age 11, he earned a scholarship at the Guildhall School of Music. He studied harpsichord, organ, music theory, and composition, from which he progressed on organ and earned a scholarship to Oxford University. While studying music and composition there at Oxford, he performed in the Oxford Comedy Revue. After leaving Oxford, Dudley began a career as a concert pianist in Sir John Dankworth's big band. As fate would have it, though, a former bandmate of Dudley recommended him for a comedy stage review that was being put together at the 1960 Edinburgh Comedy Festival. Dudley Moore, joined by Peter Cook, Alan Bennett, and Jonathan Miller, together produced, wrote, and performed as Beyond the Fringe, a comedy stage review groundbreaking for mixing satire with politics that allowed England to poke fun at itself for the first time since well before World War II. Credited with starting England's satire boom, it was a huge success and ran in London's West End theaters for many years. Dudley, though the consummate musician, found ways to incorporate his classical and jazz piano into the show. Beyond the Fringe came to America in 1962, performing on Broadway in New York City until 1964. Notably, Beyond the Fringe was attended by then-President John F. Kennedy in February 1963. Upon his return from America in 1965, Dudley Moore was offered his own TV program by the BBC. What he created, titled Not Only But Also, ran for 3 seasons beginning in 1966. Pairing up with his Beyond the Fringe buddy Peter Cook, the duo began a long partnership, Cook usually being the stiff and Dudley being the buffoon. Not Only But Also was a cool, hip show that saw many notable young guest stars participating in sketches and other comedy bits, such as John Lennon from the Beatles, who made multiple appearances. Sadly, due to BBC policy, most of the tapes for Not Only But Also were wiped and reused for other programs. But what does exist shows a very unique show that mixes unorthodox music and camera. It's quite a trip. You can go online and watch it for free, fortunately. The later 1960s saw Dudley and Peter Cook together appear in movies such as Bedazzled, but Dudley began making solo films, and by 1970, the working relationship between Dudley and Peter was strained. The duo did make sporadic appearances in the 1970s together. They had a string of semi-successful comedy recordings, plus a guest hosting appearance in 1976 on Saturday Night Live. Oddly though, and surprising to everyone, including Dudley himself, 1979 saw him becoming a leading Hollywood actor, appearing alongside Julie Andrews and Bo Derek in the movie 10. It became one of the top money makers of 1979. In 1981, Dudley starred in the film Arthur. In addition to being a huge commercial and critical success, he was nominated for Best Actor at the Academy Awards and Golden Globe Awards. Winning the Golden Globe, he did not win the Oscar. However, he won a second Golden Globe for Best Actor in 1984 for the film Mickey and Maude. Working steadily on the big screen for the duration of the 1980s, sometimes critically and commercially successful, sometimes not, he did continue to work as well as a composer and a pianist, writing scores for several films and concert performances. The early 1990s saw Dudley concentrating more on music, notably appearing in a music video for Kenny G and performing and recording his own compositions in 1992 at London's Royal Albert Hall. In 1997, Dudley Moore underwent quadruple coronary bypass surgery for frontal lobe damage and suffered 4 strokes. In 1999, he publicly disclosed that he was suffering from degenerative brain disorder, progressive supranuclear palsy. Sadly, the early symptoms, which appear like you're intoxicated, and sometimes Dudley was mistaken for being drunk when he was suffering from the early stages of the disease. His disease progressed quickly, requiring the use of a wheelchair. As his disease progressed, Dudley Moore decided to retire out of the public eye completely and away from family and friends to Plainfield, New Jersey. Living in a modest house, he played piano and composed music with his caregiver. Dudley Moore made his final public appearance, despite his condition, at Buckingham Palace, November 2001, where he was appointed a Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Shortly after, Dudley Moore passed away on March 27, 2002, as the result of pneumonia at the age of 66. His last words were, "I can hear the music all around me." So we are going to be paying our respects to him, Dudley Moore, legend in life, not forgotten in death. I must apologize. When I was putting this show together, I intended to film it Memorial Day weekend. I had started going out that Sunday morning, and then I started passing some churches and cemeteries, and then I realized Memorial Day is not a good day to go to a cemetery for something like this. Memorial Day weekend has a lot of activities in cemeteries. A lot of Cub Scouts and different organizations come and pay the respects to the fallen soldiers that may be in the cemetery. So I nixed the idea and postponed it to later on. But finding Dudley Moore's grave is rather simple. He is buried in section D3. However, if you have GPS, he's actually a ping. He is a landmark. So that'll help. We are here. Hillside Cemetery, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. To find Dudley Moore, very simple. Come to the intersection here, D4, D5 straight over. That's D1 and D2. Anyway, you want D3? Well labeled. Right here on the corner. The intersection. D3. Walk up the hill here. Straight past this tree. Dudley Moore. Dudley S.J. Moore. April 19th, 1935 to March 27th, 2002. Cherished friend, celebrated musician, actor, comedian.
Legend in life, not forgotten in death.